So I went to university. Asian parents typically they just want us to do like professional degrees. I tried to do like architecture, but my GPA wasn't high enough. It was like 2.9 something. So yeah, it was pretty tough, and I feel like I wasted a lot of time.
How much were you making?
1 to 1.5K a month. On the first 2 weeks, there was like no sales. So I kind of deep down kind of believe in this product. And then I got my first sale after the first 2 weeks. And I'm like, fuck, it's like, it feels amazing. That tring sound is like, damn, bro, like it could be real. I saw some more success. Then I just, fucking sleep 4 or 5 hours per day.
He's not doing over $200,000 a month, man. So guys, today I have a very, very special guest in front of me. His name is Jasper. We see it in front of me. He's obviously Asian, as you guys can see. He's my Asian brother. He's from, he also speaks Chinese, but we're going to do this interview in English. I also speak Chinese, but we're going to do it in English. And I'm really looking forward to this interview because he is one of like the most, he's one of the stories which I love the most in most Islamic program. Like he is actually one of my favorite stories because where he came from and his upbringing and his background to where he's at right now doing $200,000 every single month with his business, and from the situation he was in, because he was always describing to me where he came from and the struggles he had. And I know in the meantime, it was not even that long ago where he was still struggling with his job and mixing it up with e-com, and he still made it work at the same time. I remember very clearly Jasper telling me like, bro, after like in the weekends that he like didn't have to skip stuff, had to sacrifice stuff to work on his e-com business, and now he made it work. I don't want to spoil it yet, but he recently left his 9 to 6, 9 to 5, 6 is in Hong Kong, his job. He's now doing over $200,000 a month, man. But that's a bit of introduction about Jasper, and I want to welcome you, Jasper, for today's interview. Thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you, Alex, for inviting me. My name is Jasper, and first of all, it's Chinese New Year, so 恭喜发财, everyone. These are all for you guys, and I hope we all have like a crazy snake year. And yeah, 恭喜发财. Thank you for the invite, Alex, once again.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's your first podcast ever, right?
Yeah, first podcast. So, if I have any mistakes, just forgive me.
Don't worry, bro. Don't worry. It's about your story. Thank you for coming on. And yeah, everyone who's watching this, 恭喜发财, that basically means, direct translation basically means, I hope you get rich. But it basically means it's a Chinese way and the Asian way of saying Happy Chinese New Year. Happy New Year. It's the year of the snake right now. We just recently went to this year. And yeah, that's what we Asian people tell each other. We don't tell each other like, hey, Happy New Year, best wishes, bro. We tell each other, I hope you get rich. Like he's telling me 恭喜发财, I tell him 恭喜发财. Okay, if you want to tell a Chinese person is Happy New Year, just tell him 恭喜发财. Literally means I hope you get rich, and we all hope each other get richer and richer. That's how the Chinese culture goes. So that's what I love about Chinese culture, by the way. And obviously you come from an Asian background. Like I'm obviously I'm Asian, I'm Chinese, but I didn't grow up there. I grew up in the Netherlands myself, so I grew up pretty Western. But I've got a lot of the cultural values, and I still resonate a lot with the Chinese and Asian culture. But in your case, you grew up in Asia, right? Like, how did you even get to this point of doing $200,000 a month? Can you tell me a bit about your upbringing, your backstory? Like, how did you even get to this point?
Yeah. So to start off, I was actually born and raised in a small city called Macau, which is like a city right next to Hong Kong. So people call it, the Asian Las Vegas, but actually the population is quite small. It's only around like, I don't know, 600,000 people, which is much less, compared to like a Asian business hub, Hong Kong. So yeah, I was born and raised there. And after high school, I went to university. And after university, I met my wife, and then we moved to Hong Kong and basically just started to live there.
Good shit. Good shit. I know that in Macau, do you gamble at all or no?
Nah, I don't think people in Macau gamble. We know, that gamble isn't good there.
Listen, because in 2024, first time I went to Macau, and it was last year, and it was crazy. Okay, one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen, and one of the most fun cities. And I think it's on my top 3 list of cities because for the people who know me, I love gambling, and that's a gambling hub. So, bro, like, if I would live there, I don't think it would go well. I think all my e-com profits would go into casino. But, bro, it's a nice city. I love it there. But why did you move to Hong Kong in the first place?
Yeah, so my wife is actually from Hong Kong, and we kind of met during our studies back in university. And yeah, we decided that, okay, probably, Hong Kong has a better development overall. And then it's more more international compared to Macau. So that's how we got there.
It's more money in Hong Kong, right? It's
yeah, more money. But it's the same for e-com,
Exactly. So what did you do in Hong Kong? What was you doing before you did e-com? How did you even get to this point?
Yeah, so basically, before I was doing ecom, I had, like, it was COVID and everything, and I have to it was kinda messy. I have to, like, move around Hong Kong, Macau with my wife and trying to, get, like, a residence and then to get, like, a job, but it was not really that fortunate, and yeah, and finally we settled down, and then I got a job, which was actually being a recruiter, and it's a commission-based and sales job, and I got this job actually with a purpose. So, because I always hear that, every business guy needs to know sales, so that's why I kinda took this job and jumped out of my comfort zone. I have 0 sales experience. Yeah, so this job basically I have to, do business development, cold call with clients, and then find them the best candidates in the market. So a lot of calls together, and then like and then until they match each other, and every match means like a placement, which is like commission. So that's kind of like my full time job.
And when did you start doing this?
Yeah, I started doing that in October 2023. That's when I actually, started drop shipping as well.
So how old were you then?
I was actually around almost 25 during that time.
So you're 26 right now, right?
Yeah, 26 right
26.
now.
But what did you even do before that? Like, how did you even get to the point of doing recruiting? Because I think there's some backstory there as well, right? Did you go to university? How was your upbringing?
Yeah, so I went to university and I studied, a major called community and regional development. So kind of like urban planning. So at first, Asian parents typically they just want us to do like professional degrees. I tried to do like architecture, but my GPA wasn't high enough. It was like, 2.9 something. So that's why I got to like an urban planning degree. But yes, since then I finished my degree and then COVID hit, came back, studied, and did some part-time in the middle because wasn't a good time, especially in Macau or Hong Kong to find like a 9 to 6. And especially when, I didn't have like the residence of Hong Kong during that time. So yeah, it was like pretty tough. And I feel like I wasted a lot of time during that time not to, dive into something more specific earlier and just doing some random side hustles.
What did you do? Like, did you work a part-time job? What did you work?
Yeah, like I was actually doing like some tutoring, like tutoring kids and then paid by hour and then kind of like I was actually, in a swim team when I was young. So I have some like basics, like some swimming skills and I also like teach kids swimming. So that's kind of like the part times I did, but not obviously not earning, a lot of money or as
How much were you making?
bro, that was like I don't know, 1 to 1.5K a month. Yeah.
US dollars?
Yeah, around that.
That how much was your rent even in Hong Kong? Like, because I know in Hong Kong, like you see all these videos online where people live like in these boxes or in these cages almost.
Yeah.
In Hong Kong, like how did you even pay for rent with that salary?
Yeah, so interestingly, and actually, I'm very grateful for my wife and her parents because I know the rent in Hong Kong is crazy expensive. If you pay like, 1K USD, you only get like shared room, probably, I would say. And you have like a bunch of people sharing like an apartment. So yeah, basically my wife and her family knows that, it's a tough time, especially like in this generation to get like a, apartment or renting a house in Hong Kong. So they actually helped us out and got us like an apartment to live in. So since then, I went like after I started living in Hong Kong, I was living with my wife in, our own apartment, I would say. And yeah, I'm really thankful that they helped us out during this time.
Exactly, exactly. So how much did you even make with the recruitment job? How did that
Bro, that is actually like quite little. It's about like two 2.5K USD.
2.5K a month, but you
Yes.
had to like work commission based, right? How did that go?
Yep. So basically that is like a basic salary. And then like on top of commissions, you have like a threshold. If you pass that threshold, then yeah, you'll get like commissions. But yeah, I was also quite new to the job, so I only had like 1 or 2 placements, not too much, and couldn't really like expand it much in terms of salary or grow much here.
Interesting. So how did you like where did you get to the point of like okay, um, because obviously everyone has this point in their life. I think of like okay, I wanna like I'm done with this shit. Like I just want something else. What was it for you that you even made had the motivation or had the inspiration to get to that switch, or you always had that?
So I would say that I always had that. So like when I was young, I actually, because my parents, I think similar, I mean, similar than with yours, they have like a quite stable income. So my parents, they're not like rich. They have like a stable job. But I always wanted to, try something like even larger or bigger, or actually try to be like, an entrepreneur myself. So I always like always thought about like, hey, like I wanted to start a business. And yeah, actually, and like diving back how I started ecom, and I can give more insights about that. How I started ecom, it was back in 2023 January. I decided to, start ecom because I think it's a pretty viable model, like a low barrier to entry, low cost, and the scalability is so high, because there's like
Where
no
did you find eco? Where did you find
where
eco?
yeah, I was looking at like, Jordan Welsh, Luke Belmar videos, and they kind of talk about, ecom, you know, affiliate marketing, things like that. And yeah, that's how I actually got into ecom. And I decided to, start Amazon instead of drop shipping. And I thought I was smart during that time because yeah, I thought Amazon has traffic and I don't know how to, make a store, run traffic to my site and everything. I thought it was really, really hard. So basically during between my Amazon and my, first 9 to 6 job, there was like 9 months. I thought that, I was like making some decent profit, decent sales, and I can, just work that as my, as my income or, source of living. And yeah, actually it was quite good, for like first 2 or 3 months. But then like there are like, bad reviews coming. And that's when it was like really stressful and I couldn't really like overcome that issue. And I decided, yeah, actually, I won't start my ecom business, but I will actually, get another income source to fund my ecom business. So that's how I kind of got into, more searching more things, watching more YouTube, and came into a video, like seeing Alex Chan, which kind of inspires me like so much.
Which video did you see of me?
Yeah,
I
actually, it
didn't
was
remember.
the Jordan Welsh video, like during that time.
Ah,
Yeah, like
yes, yes.
you guys were in like Capital Club, and in Spain, I think. And then was like the first guy
Correct.
interviewing, like, hey, some quick crazy guy. You were like, I was doing 300K a day, and then like four
Yeah.
million a month, and I'm like, damn. And he's like, I don't know, like 19 at that time.
Yeah, I was 19.
It was crazy.
Actually, I was still 19, I believe.
I almost was 20 there. Well, I was just turned 20. It was around there, but and that's where I came after crazy Q4. And yeah, I met Jordan and he wanted to interview. Shout out to Jordan for sure. That was a great interview. And he's a great host as well, great podcaster. Um, but from there, so how did that go into, you were still doing Amazon. How much revenue were you doing with Amazon? And then why did you want to quit that?
Yeah, with Amazon, it was around, I would say 3 to 4K revenue, but that's not profit, right? Yeah, I still have to like do paid ads, and I have to do like make product images and everything and try to, optimize it. So I would say it is like barely just I think it was just break even. That's quite unfortunate. But yeah, that's when I decided that yeah, I need to, maybe Amazon is not for me. I want to switch a track. Maybe I might do well in other tracks just because I believe that, if so many guys are crushing it in ecom and, Shopify, then yeah, I can probably use my skills that I've learned through Amazon and put it into my Shopify. And that's kind of how I decided to make the change. And like followed Alex on IG and I was sending him like messages, bro, like you were inspiring, like man, like things like that. So that's kind of how I got into, following Alex, knowing more about, your story, which is very cool. Seeing how like you start a business so young, you have like such a cool business mindset and you start hustling from the bottom, man. Yeah. So basically, yeah, in Amazon and well, like switching over to Shopify, actually, like at the original, like at the starting of the Amazon, I was thinking about Shopify. So I actually built like a Shopify store just for my Amazon. And I thought that, it would be like, counteractive. Sorry, I mean, benefiting each other and making, double sales like that. But yeah, Shopify is kind of a different game. You have to draw traffic into that store before you get like any sales. So
Yeah,
it was
complete
just like,
opposite.
yeah, completely opposite. So I thought, but at least, I kind of have like a basic foundation of how like a Shopify store is built. So I
Yeah.
decided to, give it a try, like that's, crush it or whatever, just do it because I have nothing to lose, right? Like just like most of everyone here, we have nothing to lose and everything to win, I would say. And I always keep this mindset in my brain. I'm like, I must do it. And I see guys, especially younger guys, like doing crazy amount of money. That makes me think that I'm so dumb as fuck, I'm big app dump.
And
Yeah, yeah,
and that the thing is, you will never stop having that. And I am the first person to actually tell you that straight up. Like, bro, that's like, even now I'm 21, but even when I was 19 and like I became a millionaire, then I became a multi-millionaire. At 19 or 21, around there. But bro, I still looked at, like, I met guys who were like 16 doing millions and stuff. I was like, bro, I'm old. Like, I wasn't even in my 20s yet. So you will never stop having that. But obviously, I think you have it more than I have because you're 26. But bro, 26, you still have like endless time. You have like basically like, Gary Vee always says it, right? But I think Gary Vee is exaggerating it. But you don't have like endless time, but like you have so much time to make shit work. And especially in the business where we're in, when ecom, like like life has changed so fast because you started like dropshipping and just Shopify 1 year ago or something, right?
yeah.
Like, and your whole lives basically changed in 1 year. That's pretty crazy. You want to tell about the change and how that went?
Yeah. So yeah, I found out, Alex Chen, and then I followed him on IG, for a few months. And then like one day he just like opened a coaching spot, which was for me is like seeing, you know, light at the end of the funnel or the tunnel. Yeah. I mean, because during that time I was pretty lost. I knew that I just started my 9 to 6. I knew that it isn't for me. I don't want it in like the long term. I don't see a future, to be honest. Because if I put in like, what, 20 years, 10 years of time, yeah, that income is going to be like fair. I would say fair, but it's not going to be like amazing. Like ecom, it's going to be just way less. And I have to trade, my time with my family and my loved ones for that. So I decided to, DM Alex. I'm like, hey, can I join your course and things like that? And then we just kind of got things going from there. And yeah, he's pretty interesting. Like, Alex, he will ask you, he wants to make sure that, you are the type of guy, the winner mentality. You have the winner's mentality before, you know, proceeding. So that's why he wants to keep everything strong in the net within his network. And that kind of builds even stronger mastermind, I would say.
Interesting. So okay, you joined the mentorship, but obviously the work doesn't do itself. How did that go?
Yeah. So at first I joined the mentorship with Alex, and yeah, I started like started pretty much we discussed, and then we started like a new store. And then I was, well, the first day I was um making sale, but then like for like 1 or 2 weeks, I wasn't really knowing like what I'm doing because my foundation and my basic skills are still pretty shit. So I just had like a break even or some loss of money, and I, didn't know what to do. And I kind of paused that store for like after a month. And after that, I was in the group, in Alex group chat, just sometimes seeing students, wins, crazy wins, other students winning like, crazy. And until like one day, in after a few months in February or March, I'm like, fuck, even a guy, in our group 16 doing 300K or 10K plus days. I'm like, mate, what am I doing? I'm like, I
He
can't
was
do
Asian.
this.
Asian.
Yeah, he was also Asian, actually. Yeah. So I saw that and I was like, you know, I have the best resources actually. I have this group of people, this group of experts in ecom, and I can't waste it. So I decided to actually, you know, pick a product from my previous Amazon existing Shopify store within that same niche, which I kind of knew like from the beginning. And yeah, that's how I kind of found the first product, which took me from 0 to 200K a month in, I would say,
So
half.
how long did it like, how long did until you found your first success in Shopify e-com dropshipping?
Yeah. So you mean like how many products I tested, or?
Yeah, like how long did it take? How many parts did you test, and how much time did it take?
Yeah, actually, it wasn't long. So based on, because I had calls with Alex, and also I've seen some of the guys giving some tips within the group chat. So actually, I aced this product. So it's like the first product within my niche I chose, and I just kind of aced it because I first of all I'm kind of familiar with my own niche. You have to have the knowledge with your own niche, and then based on that, I just searched like a product within the niche, and then you know, kind of track the stores, track the revenue, and know that there's a proof of concept there. And then based on that, I just tested ads. And yeah, but it was kind of funny. Like on the first 2 weeks, I would say, there was like no sales, but I kind of deep down kind of believe in this product. So and then I got my first sale after the first 2 weeks, and I'm like, fuck, it's like, it feels amazing. The first sale, I mean, for you as well, for everyone. So that
That's
tring sound is like, damn, bro, like it could be real.
it actually work.
Eureka moment for me as well, like as if I invented fire. I was like, what the fuck? This shit actually works. Like all that effort which you put in before that like you hear that ka-ching sound, right?
Yeah,
You're
the
like,
ka-ching sound.
what the fuck? Like it's a confirmation of what I'm doing. Like I'm not crazy. What I'm doing actually works. I think the first sale, I think even for me, like to this moment in my life, like it's still one of the best moments in my life because I was in my mother's bedroom, in my parents' house, my own bedroom. But I was like such a deep moment, bro. I swear, my girlfriend broke up with me. Everything was going shit, and I tried to revamp the website, tried to make Pride work. All my money was in there. I was literally going all in, and what happened? It's just I don't know. It was just an evening. I think it was around 8 p.m. Bro, ka-ching! Suddenly, Shopify. I'm like, what the fuck? I've never heard that sound before, and I was like, what the fuck is it? And this is 2020, right? And I got like one woman, I don't even know her name anymore. Was it Petra or something was her name? From the Netherlands, bro. She ordered 2 balls, $65. I was like, what the fuck? And then 1 hour later, bro, I was screaming. I was telling my mom, I was screaming the whole house, bro. All my siblings heard it. Then, bro, suddenly I got ka-ching again, bro. Another one. One person bought $40 of Forex. That's the best moment ever. I mean, that from that moment, I don't know. I don't think anything can beat it because from there, it's basically your money goes up only because now you have the taste of it, but I think your excitement goes downhill. You understand what I mean? Like even though now it's okay, I hit 1 million a month, I hit 3-4 million a month, I hit 300K a day. Like I don't get the same excitement anymore, percent like relatively than as the first sale, I would say. But I agree, man. That's one of the best moments of your life. So from there, how did you even get to 200K a month? What were the struggles you saw in there, or was it just scaling?
Yeah. So let me give some context before that. So I was telling like everyone, you guys, like I had like 2 weeks of having no sales. But first of all, I think I would say like you have to, if you believe in that product, give it some time, right? Facebook needs time to learn. And then obviously I see, just look at the metrics because everything is like, each funnel, have its own story. And I see that, like people are adding to carts and I have some add to carts, but no one is purchasing. Like, what the fuck? And then I just went
Yeah.
back, to my, it was like a really, really silly beginner's mistake. I went back to my Shopify and then just kind of look at, like the abandoned carts. And the reason for that, it was, payment failed. So pretty much I kind of didn't really set up properly of my Shopify payments. So that's why sales didn't work. And then after that, I just fixed that. And yeah, sales start coming and more ka-ching sounds.
So you went from zero to how much
Yeah. So,
in how long?
so I went from, yeah, it was, I think I went from 0 to around 10K. Probably I use around like 1 month to 1.5 months. Yeah.
Yeah, I know with you because obviously you've been with me a bit longer. I know with you it went
Yeah.
a bit slower than with most people went through. Like what were some of the struggles which you found in that time, and what do you think is the biggest takeaway for the guys who are watching? Like what made you break out of that plateau or even out of that like that first momentum wave? How did you? What was that for you that broke it through? Like what is your lesson out of that?
Yeah. I think having the first sale and then just looking at the ROAS, it's actually like kind of motivating. I mean, obviously first sale is the most important thing. And I would say like look at the metrics, look at the supplier price. And then once you start getting a few sales, like find a supplier and then try to negotiate the price. Because at the beginning I was using like AliExpress or using some, I think AutoDS, and then yeah, trying to fulfill the orders manually by my own, which obviously, one, it has a lot of issues. Second of all, it's like really slow. So I just found like a supplier, from referrals in a group chat. And starting from there, I lowered my cost. Like one day I was like, I tried to negotiate price with a supplier. I lowered my costs and then I found like an ad that is kind of winning at the same time. So I had like a really good day. And I was really happy because I know that, yeah, shit, I can probably scale this. And starting then, I was just keep asking. I mean, I'm asking a lot of questions and, trying to connect with a lot of people because, people that is around you, network is net worth, right? So if you can connect with the people that are ahead of you into the game, just kind of ask them or provide value and see like how to build that relationship, and then people would just kind of guide you through that process. And I kind of took the steps, and then more ads.
Exactly. And I think that's exactly what you said before, right? Because you were in the group and you were the guy who was slower than usual, right? I remember very clearly, whether not the guy who was always the front runner, but I remember very clear that you were always asking questions. You were very sharp, always paying attention, always in the group calls, always asking the smart questions as well. And obviously it can go a bit slower because you're spending time with your 9 to 5 and 9 to 6, which you'll dive deep into later. But and that's why exactly what you spot on what you say. Your network is your net worth. And I know it sounds very corny, but it's literally true, because you were in a group of all people who were doing better than you. You saw guys, 60-year-old guys who were doing over 100K a day, 18-year-old guys who were crushing in millions a month. And you're like, bro, I'm 26 and they don't even seem any smarter than I am. So you're getting automatically motivated. That's exactly how it went for me as well. When in the beginning, okay, I was like you have to, like, I was living in my hometown, and from there, like in your hometown, obviously you're from Hong Kong, that's a bigger city, but I get in my hometown, the Netherlands, like if you're making more than 3K a month or 2K a month in my age, it's like 16 or 17, per, like, you're the baller. Like because these guys make like $800 per month, most of my people my age. You understand what I mean? They just chill, live with their parents, go to school, just a normal life. And I was a baller with 2 or 3K a month. But no, I refused to accept that mindset, and I wanted bigger. I knew it was out there. So where first I went to Dubai, started to meet with other people, network with other entrepreneurs, and I only started hanging around people who were doing more than I was, because I mean I could network pretty well and get into those circles. And bro, like from there your mind just expands. And that's why I think joining such a community, as a winner circle, right, is just not even the coaching, but just the network effect from that, and letting that expand your mind of what's even possible. You would never experience that just from your home, just in your hometown, and just from the wrong people you hang around with. I agree completely with that. But how did it a journey for you go for like, okay, from the first moment you got sales, like where did you even leave your 9 to 6, or where did you decide, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go on with this?
Yeah, so at the beginning, obviously, making sales doesn't mean you're profitable and you can, rely on that for a living. But I would think like this way, like once I have the sale, I have the proof of concept, I know kind of like the formulas to implement it and what skills are needed to implement for a specific product or a niche. Then I would kind of use based on my the salary from my 9 to 6, and then reinvest into the business. So that's how I kind of have, some ad money. I kind of, count it every day. I started off with like, $50 per day, and I still have some money left, for food and living. And I just put it into the business, man. Like, yeah, that's kind of how my mindset works. And yeah, I think it's really important that, especially if you have a 9 to 6, that it's kind of tough. You have to, if you have a life, you have a wife, and then you have like a family, then it's really hard because I don't know, like traffic time in, Amsterdam, but in Hong Kong, like 2 hours is gone just from traffic, go and back. So pretty much I have
Yeah,
like
and then that's also bad
hours.
traffic.
Yeah, per bad traffic, right? So actually, like if you have like a 9 to 6, Monday to Friday, you only have like max, I would say 3 hours to work on ecom. So that's why I decided, at a further beginning, like further route, I saw some more success. Then I just, fucking sleep 4 or 5 hours per day until I make it work. So that's how it.
This is the moment you went all in. So what was the moment you went all in? Like, what was the moment you decided, you know what, I can leave my job?
Yeah, that moment was actually in Q4. I kind of set like a target, just like Alex on the ball, 5K days, 1K days, 10K days, how many K months. And yeah, actually, I kind of hit the targets. And I'm like, if I hit 5K day, I'm going to quit my 9 to 6. And I did it. And actually, I did like, I think 11.5K max in Q4. So, and I knew that, yeah, if I can make like my whole month's of salary in a day, then yes, it's a time, you should really treasure your own time, because your time is worth money, right? Treasure your own time,
Yeah.
and then yeah, just go all in, I would say. Because even if you lose, yeah, sorry. Even if you lose, you have like a safety ground for yourself. Because I kind of watched Luke Belmar. He said like like 100K in cash or whatever in your bank. If you have that, on top of that, you can go all in, because you have like at least half a year to 1 year of your like savings, to live off without any income.
I mean, depending where you live, in my
Yeah.
lifestyles really would work out. But
Yeah.
how is it? How was that feeling for you? Telling your boss, I don't know what you told your boss, but like, fuck you, I ain't doing this anymore. How was it feeling for you?
Yeah, so actually it was kind of interesting. Well, actually I had a good relationship with my boss. So at the end he kind of feel that as well. Like I was starting off to lagging behind in work, and then I was doing I was kind of a bit like, tiring and tired during, my 9 to 6. And I kind of like, told him in January, like, hey, I think, yeah, I appreciate your company and everything. And we had like a peaceful conversation. But, I've been, running my own business at the time. And I think it's the time for me to actually, head off and, go all in on my business. And, thank you for this time. I mean, I'm grateful for everything because they took me in at a time where I was pretty lost in life and I really need money. So I really thank him, be grateful for him and the skills I've learned, in sales, just grateful for like, different moments of life. And that way you will like, not only be more positive and be more happy. So yeah, I just talked to him, kind of shared a bit of what I'm just doing some online business and stuff. I mean, obviously they won't ask too much because their career is already there, right? But they'll be like, yeah, just good luck in your future business and let's stay in touch. That's a pretty good, I would say, really a good way of ending the work relationship.
So you were doing already 11.5K in one single day. That was your record, right? In
I was working.
before you even left your 9 to 6 job. So for everyone who's watching, because I have so many guys who come to me, they say like, "Oh, I don't have time. I'm doing my school. I'm working at my parents' company. I'm working my 9 to 5. Whatever, whatever, whatever. Whatever, some bullshit excuse. Like you actually had this Asian mentality, and you had this Asian literally standard Asian job when you had to work 9 to 6. So basically, you had to work. You had to drive 2 hours, right? And 2 hours to it.
So I have
Bed.
the hour,
Tiny. Like
2 hours.
it's that. So you're already 2 hours. So you wake up at 6 or 7. Then you have to ride 2 hours. Then you arrive at work 9. Then you leave at 6. You have to even drive back 2 hours again in the dark. So I guess you went to the dark and then went back to the dark. So it's 8 p.m. before you come home. Then you still have to do your own stuff. You have to cook. You have to eat. Like go to the gym. Like how did you combine it? Because I think the viewers will. I'm very curious about your a way of combining this and how to make it work at the same time. Because um, like honestly, there's too many guys having this excuse to me, and I think you're the perfect example of someone who just did it.
So first of all, I would say that, yeah, thank you for that. But I'm not the only example in your group. I know guys, they had 9 to 6 as well. So I would say, like, actually, to be exact, the time for me to come is around 1 to 1.5 hour, per session. So every day I have like I wake up at around like 7:30, go to work at 9, and then after I go home, is typically around 7:30, and sometimes I have to work overtime because I didn't hit my certain KPIs for the day. So yeah, I could work pretty late and bring my laptop home as well. And I would say that yeah, this thing is kind of interesting. Me and my wife, we kind of had like a conversation with this because I have a wife as well. It's kind of different. If you have like if you're just by yourself, the best position, to start a business is when you're by yourself and when you're living with your parents. You have really nothing to lose. You can go all in and you can still have a meal, right?
Exactly.
That is like the
And
best.
you actually had stuff to lose.
Yeah. So I actually I need to, as a guy, I've taken responsibility, right? I mean, my wife wasn't giving me any pressure. She actually doesn't give a shit, how much money I earn and etc. As long as, I can live my living. And she's really supportive and her family as well. But the thing is, yeah, and that was like a really hard time. The thing is, I have to, it's my partner, right? I have to spend time with her. It's not that like I can, just, suddenly focus on one thing and then neglect every other thing. But that's actually most of the case. If you want to be successful in one thing, you have to neglect every other thing to be successful in this pie. And after you're successful in this pie, you can kind of work on other stuff. That's what I think. But yeah, relationships are different. You gotta make sure that you can balance out between 9 to 6, business, and relationship. So typically, what I do is, yeah, I will kind of negotiate that like a time with her. I would spend time with her, have like dinner or something.
Negotiate with your wife about time.
Yes, correct.
Wait, what?
I mean, yeah, I mean, she wants to, sometimes have some dating time, I would say. But and I would actually like every time when I'm like, let's say if we're going out, I would try to maximize the efficiency. So let's say if we go out, hey, can we go out like on a Friday night? Because I'll get off work. She can come with me, like to my workplace, and we can have dinner or whatever, and then just save the rest of the weekends, just for business. I would say like you have to be really smart, especially saving travel time. Yeah. I would say because sometimes like, yeah, if let's say me and Alex, I'm like, hey, you wanna, hang out tomorrow just for, from 9 to 11. Actually, it's not 9 to 11, it's actually probably 8 to 12 because you have like commute time. So you kind of have to like count that is in as well. And make sure that when you go out, then you don't really like lose a lot of time in commute. Commute is like the worst thing to lose, in my opinion. You just literally, you can always, I mean, obviously look at podcasts, listen and whatever, but I would say you won't gain any value in that time. So it's kind of like a waste for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I would say like if you have a 9 to 6 and then you have, let's say no partner, just go all in, order some healthy delivery. I would say it will save you time for sure. Especially like if you have to like cook and wash dishes and everything. Yeah.
What were some of the sacrifices you had to make to get to this point?
Yeah. So the sacrifice I had to make, is obviously family time. So I had to sacrifice my time, with spending with, the wife I love and also with the family. Now, every time they're like, hey, how are you doing? Free for dinner or something like that. I'm like, no, sorry, I can't. I always say, but we kind of discussed this and there has to be like a target and there has to be like an end to this, right? Because if not, you'll just be all in your business and you'll fuck every other thing in life. And that's kind of not what I want as well. So I told them, give me this half a year or just give me this Q4. Let me make it work. So and then I just, I was like, during this time, just forgive me for, not spending time with family, just going all in business because I can't lose. Because I'm just literally seeing, the light at the end of the funnel, like really bright light, I would say, at the end of the funnel. And that's how I kind of has me like, has a fire in my heart to actually go all in. And I would say like every hour, even sometimes during like lunch breaks, I bring my laptop to work, 9 to 6, I have like 1 hour. I would just literally eat and then like work on laptop and stuff. And yeah, that's how I kind of manage my time. Just every moment, think about business. And yeah, just be proactive, think about what you can do better and be more efficient, I would say. And sometimes, if you're not good at certain tasks, if you're in a 9 to 6, that's also a good thing compared to guys who are just starting from literally zero, is that you can, hire some people to do it for you. But obviously you have to know the basics, like what is a good, let's say, product page, what is a good ad, and then you can kind of give directions to them to kind of, outsource the time. If not, like if you have to do everything on your own, of a 9 to 6, you'll probably have to sleep less, sacrifice sleep as well. Yeah.
I mean, that's a beautiful thing what you're saying because I mean, you were literally went all in at the same time, and you made it work. Obviously, it worked out for you. But what you're saying is beautiful because you're saying, okay, like there was no way of you losing if you went all in, and that self belief, that self confidence I think it's essential for success. I see most guys who are saying, okay, I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Obviously, when you're just starting out, like you have to see test the waters first. I would like that as well. But okay, you saw business model worked. You saw other guys in our circle, in the group, doing it well as well. And you were like, okay, bro, I can do that as well. And I think it's a beautiful thing you're saying. And I have tremendous respect that you because I can imagine. Look, I had a similar situation when I went to school and I had to work my parents' restaurants. Luckily I never had to work 9 to 5. Like because but I can imagine that okay, driving to work like depressed as fuck, like not being motivated to come there at all at work, and then having to drive home again, and then okay, now you still have to work on my business. Like you have to if you're in such a situation, I think a situation like yours, it really comes down to okay, how bad do you want it? Because if you want it bad enough, you will find a way. That's what I believe. Like it doesn't matter what situation is. Okay, if you have Wi-Fi, if you don't have Wi-Fi, it doesn't matter where you're at in the world. Because we have students from Nigeria, we have students from everywhere in the world. Okay, if you have a will, if you have a dream, okay, I believe you can make it work. Whatever situation you're in. So I think it's a beautiful thing you're saying, and I have tremendous respect for your situation. and I'm so happy for you, and that you finally been able to leave your 9 to 6, and hopefully now spend some more time with your wife, because I think also that's something I completely agree with, and that's actually something which I been thinking about lately as well, about the fact that
You have
okay, like
right?
no, I don't have a girlfriend. That's a different story. That's those. I don't have a set one. I don't have a second one. Let's keep it like that. But I like I don't have to be honest. I don't have time for a girlfriend. If we're talking about girlfriend, like I honestly don't have time for a girlfriend, because, but where do I find the time to spend time with a girl, bro? I don't even have time to see my best friends. Like friends were for me from the start. Oh, I don't even have enough time to see my mom or see my dad. You know what I mean? Like how can I spend time with a random girl? And obviously if you have a girl which started you from the start, bro, that's beautiful. Like for me, bro, I've been honest, bro. For me, that's too late. I ain't gonna find a girl anymore that would remember start, because I got a supercar right now, bro. I'm living in a beautiful house here. Like, bro, that's everyone. Like, I don't know if they're there for the money or for my beautiful looks or if they're whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're real. So for me, that's too late. But that's a different scenario. But what I wanted to talk to you about is regarding the family, because I think you touch upon a great point in there regarding family, because I've been thinking about this a lot as well. Um, because look, I'm spending, like, whenever I'm in Dubai, my family's not living here yet. Like, especially I'm talking about my parents. Like, I don't spend that much time with them. Obviously, I call with them, and then whenever I'm in the Netherlands, I'm back with them, and I travel with them. I'm going to China with my dad next week. And I'm just hanging out with my family whenever I'm there with them. But look, I'm realizing more and more that's not where I worked for. Like I worked so hard, and I worked so hard for my life to give them a great life. Like I don't even care about the materialistic stuff or about all this view. Like get used to the supercar, the materialistic stuff. I don't give a fuck about that. I just want to give my family a great life because they deserve it, especially my mom and dad. Like they've been there for me since the start, raised me, worked hard so I could live a good life, so I could go to school, which I didn't, fortunately. But you get what I mean. So I, like, right now I'm in a more of a in a dilemma. I'm in a split where I'm like I'm so locked in. Like okay, I still have to make more money. Like I'm still unsatisfied where I want to go. I want to keep mining. I want to keep going to the next level. But at the same time, I'm like I'm not, again, sacrificing time which I could spend with my family, because I have enough money to spend every day with my family. You know what I mean? But it's a balance act, and I'm, to be honest, I'm still struggling with it. I'm thinking about, okay, like when um is enough? Like when is the point where you're gonna say, okay, you know what? I have to give my family this life. You understand what I mean? Like in my eyes, I'm not there yet. I haven't made it. I am still so far from my potential. But I mean, the family also, like your parents don't live forever. So that's a beautiful thing you're saying, and I think it's very. I respect that you realize that. Okay, um, because that's how I think you should go. Like go so gradually. Okay, like the more time you have, now you have more freedom. You can spend more time with your parents, more time with your family, because that's what you worked for, right? I think in the end of the day, if you like worked your whole life until you're 60, and now okay, you're a billionaire, you're a multimillionaire, whatever, you're worth 100 million plus, and like okay, you didn't spend any time with your loved ones. Like, bro, money you don't take to the grave. Um, I don't think you're gonna regret that. So that's a beautiful thing you're doing.
But honestly, you're like the one of the most crazy guys. I know like in my network that is like so money driven and target driven. I have mad respect for that, and mad respect to your parents who taught you hard work as well. I saw that kind of in your stories how you started off, and then you have to learn from hard work, which is really respectable, I would say, because money even until this day, even if you have a lot of money or whatever, we all know that earning money is difficult. It's not easy at all. So you have to put in extra work to get in extra money because that's the
Exactly.
game.
What would you say for all the guys who are watching, or girls who are watching, who are right now in a situation which, because you not so long ago you've been in that situation where okay, like I actually don't like my situation. I'm like done with this shit, because you were actually telling me that okay, bro, I'm like done with like I'm done with this shit. Um, I want to like I want to make change. Like, what do you say to these people who are in that situation where you were in a few months ago?
Yeah. So I would say first of all, you have to really, really know like what you want in life. So so let's say if you want a bunch of money, you don't have to, start a business. It's just an easy route. If you want a bunch of money, you can be like, a sales guy, and then you can just do sales and then make a bunch of money, but still you have to be tied to a certain location and time. But if you, let's say, you want to earn money while you are, remotely, or while you are, just anytime. But then I think like, yeah, you have to figure it out whether you want just high money or high money with also location freedom and time freedom. Because I kind of knew that like from the start, I want location and time freedom. And it will make things much more productive. Even if I, like nowadays, I wake up at 9 a.m. I start off work right away. I'm still starting the same time as before when I was waking up 7:30.
Still working. So you're still doing. You have that joke, right? Like entrepreneurs want to leave the 9 to 5. Your case 9 to 6, but now we work 24/7. You know what I mean? You just entered a new matrix. That's the funny thing, right? But now, I mean, the beautiful thing about this, right? I think you can agree with this. Now, like I can actually decide when I work. Like I want to work. That's why I wake up early or I go to bed like at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. because I want to. It's not because my boss forced me to, because I want to. And that's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah, the freedom of choice, I would say. So but it all comes to like a few things. So I would say like if you're starting at the beginning, just make sure if your goal is clear that this is what you want in life, make sure that you commit it to yourself, and then make sure that every action or every time you put in is somehow relatable to your business or your career, like person growth, I would say. So like, yeah, you have to use your time wisely. And obviously, like one quote that Luke Belmar said in his like video, he said you have to be sick and tired. Yeah, not Johnny Walker, but like the one like when he was in Hong Kong, and then he was like interviewing some, I don't know, 100 million guys in Hong Kong. And yeah, he said like one quote which is very, until this day, I really remember. It's like you have to really be sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? So
Yeah,
like
facts.
you like I feel like, oh shit, I'm broke. I don't. This is not what I want in life, and I feel like shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
you have to be like sick and tired. Yeah,
Yeah. Stop feeling sorry to yourself. I think
it'll be sorry. Like, yeah,
yeah, like I think that's the worst, like the worst thing a man. I'm talking about same with a girl, but especially the mans who are watching. Like, bro, like feeling sorry for yourself is the worst position you can be in. Like, bro, your situation that you're in right now, like, stop feeling sorry for that. Like, nobody's gonna change it. Like your mom, your dad, nobody's gonna do it for you. So you're the only guy. Like, if I see a broke guy, honestly, if I see a loser and a broke guy, like I have 0.0 sympathy for that person. Like, I want to help that person now because I see like a fellow human being, and I know how much it hurts to be in a position and how dark it can get, right? How negative thinking can be. Like you don't see a way out. So obviously, you want to uplift that person. But I don't have sympathy for someone who is broke and starts feeling sorry for themselves because I know. And it is true. Everything is your own control. Like everything. As a man, there's nothing stopping you. All the limits you have, all the issues you have in your world, in your life, is all between your own ears. That's what I believe. And I think you touch upon a great point, and that's something practical for everyone who's watching. And that's the same thing I did. And I think it's a great habit you have. Like everything you're doing in your life should be contributed to personal growth. Okay. And I'm talking every single thing. Okay. Even okay, if you drive your car, if you drive on your car, you go to work, or you go to school, you're not listening to devil music. You're not listening to some rappers talking about bitches or girls. Like fuck that shit. You're gonna listen to podcasts. You're gonna listen to Brian Tracy. You're gonna listen to podcast videos of mine. You're gonna listen to things that uplift you, things like these, interviews like these. And I think, and that's one difference, which I think is one thing, with one habit which made a big difference in my life, is that exactly okay. Instead of, even in the gym, I wasn't listening to some rappers or hip hop anymore. I started to listening to actual motivational speech. I listened to how do you call it? Affirmations. I started to listen to podcasts. And if you feed your mind with anything that fuels your personal growth, like your whole bubble is just all growth. Okay, then there's no way to lose. And I'm literally, what I'm referring here to is literally everything. Because even okay, like if you spend time with your parents, spend time with your loved ones, that's relaxation for you. That's like okay, meditation. Okay, this is motivation again. Okay, where am I doing it for? And if you spend all your time, okay, none of your time on bullshit, like, okay, if you go out drinking with your friends, what does actually benefit? That's only set you down. Because if you go drinking with your friends, next day you wake up, you have fucking hangover, you're like, fuck this shit, bro, I'm tired, I don't want to go to the gym. If you do everything that contributes to your personal growth, okay, there's no way for you to lose. Literally, literally.
and
But Jasper, one last question, okay, for you.
yep.
What would you say for all the beginning ecom guys? What is your one piece of advice which makes a difference for you and for them to break out as you have done out to 200K months? One piece of
Yes.
advice.
So I would say, I mean, personally, for me, it might be kind of different. So just be patient. Patience is a key because at the beginning, you will fail. Like most of the time, you'll fail. But during that time, every fail, it is a time for you to reflect and learn from mistakes. And as time goes by, it took me like I think almost 2 years to actually hit, or 1.5 year to hit my the first winning product. I was mastering my skills, right? Like starting from Amazon, I was mastering my skills. And it's kind of like this, like once, like you have to be proactive so that the luck comes to you. I would always think this way. I mean, obviously business is somehow luck, but you obviously have to be proactive in terms of that. Keep doing the actions, figure out a way every time to improve. And then once you have that skill set, and somehow the luck is like this, like flying all around. Sometimes when that one hits, then you have the skill set to grab it. Even if there's a bunch of opportunities around, if you don't have the skill set, you're not going to catch it. So that's kind of how I think. And make sure that, yeah, you have to, yeah, just be patient, build a skill. Okay. Especially in ecom, figure out what skills. I mean, in Alex's story or, YouTube, he always talked about like essential skills for ecom. If you want to, let's say, be good at ecom, learn those fundamental skills. You don't have to be an expert in everything, obviously, because your role is to actually manage the business, but you have to, at least know the basics. Like you have to get through that phase and just kind of like be patient and kind of set some goals for yourself. Obviously, like patience is not like, yeah, I'm gonna just learn this one thing in a year or in a month. Just kind of set some goals for yourself. Like I gotta at least try one product, let's say this month. Then you will figure out like a reverse engineering way, like Alex kind of taught us, like 100K, like how like when you see it on the wall, you'll literally just figure it out like a way how to reach that thing. So I would say you gotta like sharpen the skills and also be resilient. Don't give up. There are a lot of guys that are in like worse situations than you, and figure out like which position you're at. I would say like typically there are like three positions if you have like a job or something. Sorry, in life. So the first position is when you have like no liability. It's really if you're in high school or if you're like living with your parents, bro, just go like or girls, just go all in because at the end of the day, even if you lose the money, you can still have a meal. Your parents are gonna forgive you and they're gonna take care of you like Alex's. Parents are really like supportive and I'm really thankful for my parents for that as well. Second one is slightly harder is you have a 9 to 6 job, and then like even harder maybe you have like a family or have kids, so you kind of have to figure out like which part. And then the last part is obviously some people are like it's really sad to know, but some people their whole family's broke, and then they have to even like I don't know, in China or Hong Kong they have to pay their salary just for their family. So that in that case that is like have to figure out which tier you're at and then kind of have like a plan for that. But for me, I would say tier 2. I have a 9 to 6, I have a wife. During that time I kind of told my wife, give me like 1Q or half a year to make it happen. And during that time it was really hard for me because I had a 9 to 6 and I had to like balance out everything, which is impossible as an entrepreneur. And one day I was literally, at my workplace, at my desk, I was like, during lunchtime, I was working at my own income business. And I literally cried out because it was like,
Oh no.
no one really understands like the stress you put on yourself or, or how hard it is with everything. And same for Alex, as he always said, like your, the money you have ties into the pressure you handle. So if he's earning like, 4 million a month, think about like, how much pressure he's handling, right? I'm just obviously doing like less numbers and stuff, but still, um, you have to go through a lot of things. But eventually, if you push through it, you have learned a lesson and you're already like better in a lot of ways. So make sure that you don't give up during that stage. And my last tip, which is very, very important, is that although you may think that, some coaching or mentorship, may be kind of like expensive, but think this way. Would you rather pay and test in the market and lose, I don't know, a bunch of money and have no result, or pay someone with a certain amount of money that will increase a lot with your chances of winning? So it comes down to this, and that's why I would say like without Alex, without that time I DM'd him, or without Winner Circle, first of all, I wouldn't be as motivated. Second of all, I wouldn't believe. And third of all, I wouldn't have the knowledge. I would still be probably at this stage searching for what the hell is like a CBO or ASC, and still figuring out launching ads, right? So it's like you kind of pay them for their experience. That's the most important thing. And that's why, I want to, thank you, Alex, once again, for taking me as your student, and letting me in your circle, networking with different guys, learning and help each other grow overall. And yeah, just never give up, guys.
Bro, thank you, man. And I always say, like, if someone in a similar situation as you made it out, then you can too, literally. Okay, so I want to thank you so much, Jasper, for sharing this story and sharing it with us. I have tremendous respect for you, and I'm looking forward to your crazy growth, because I mean, you are 200K a month right now. I know within a year from now we're gonna be at 1 million a month, and we're gonna do part 2, even more leveled up, even more enlightened, and you're gonna be such a different person. I know it, because I can see myself in you, and I know you're gonna keep crushing it. Okay, because you're a fucking warrior, and I know you're gonna make it, man. Thank you so much for joining in, and I want to thank you guys all for watching. This was it for this episode, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Ciao.